which side of that investment is driven by the hospitality, driven by the growth of Formula One in America. How do you look to the experience they've created at Miami this weekend? I think a big part of, maybe, I don't know if it's criticism, but something they get made fun of is the fake marina with the painted boats and stuff, and how weird it looks. And it seems like maybe they're just trying to fill stuff in wherever they can. But how do you view the Miami Grand Prix as a step for the growth of Formula One?
I think, ultimately America is such a huge market, and as you say, with Netflix coming along and just kind of exploding Formula One onto the market, onto our screens, and suddenly the market has grown massively. I think Miami's good for the sport. It's almost like another Monaco. It's almost, I think, to celebrate when F1 is in town. That's what we want. We really want, lots of spectators. We want lots of media coverage. That's ultimately how the business grows. I think Miami are going to have, it's going to be a very unique race. It's going to be a very unique approach, because in that part of the world, they do have a unique approach to things. But I think that's part of what is great about Formula One is we adapt and we go to different places, and we kind of, that's how we do it. We just fit in and we put on an incredible show. And so I think Miami is going to be fantastic. Vegas, I think, might even be another step up from that, especially being a Saturday night race. So I suppose one of the biggest things is we just need to make sure that much as we want F1 to be welcome to town, we don't want to distract from the main focus, which is a very tense world championship. So that's ultimately the main focus, is the racing still has to be good. We want close racing, and we want to put on a show in that respect. We don't want to sort of dilute the focus of Formula One, which is the fact that Formula One is at the, it's at the forefront of technology, and it's leading the way. The fact that Porsche and VW and Audi have just, announced that they're going to be entering Formula One, that's massive, because they're such a big player in the automotive industry. It shows that they recognise that Formula One is at the forefront, and they're willing to invest. So we can't lose that kind of core function of Formula One, which is, it's a big worldwide racing championship where the best in the world go to battle it out. So yeah, I think Miami's going to be really cool, and I'm going to be watching, being very jealous of my mates that are out there. And,
100%,
yeah, in Miami.
And you spoke about the racing there. I'd love to say, more specifically about the racing we're going to see in Miami. How have you viewed the progress of the Formula One World Championship this year so far? It seems like, the Leclerc and Verstappen two-way battle is defining the championship at the moment, but we know how important second drivers are in that, and whether you can even call Carlos Sainz a second driver. That relationship and how that's going to play out over the length of an entire season could be really interesting. What do you kind of predict as the main themes going into this weekend, and also more broadly for the season?
Yeah, it's first of all, it's fantastic to see a lot of drivers that we haven't seen at the front progressing their way up through the field. It's fantastic to see that the order has been changed up completely, and I think in terms of what Ross Brawn was trying to achieve with the mix up of the regulations and that kind of thing, it definitely mixed everything up. So that's absolutely fantastic. And I think, Leclerc and Verstappen are looking so strong, both of them. It'll be interesting to, obviously with the reliability issues with the Red Bull, it's kind of given Ferrari a chance to get the lead, but it's still kind of, it's still interesting to see how it's all going to play out, because we're starting to get to the point where a lot of teams are going to be bringing upgrades to Miami, and the performance of these cars, you know, they're kind of doing their research and development behind the scenes with the teams. They're still learning about these cars. They're still learning how to optimize the performance. And it's incredible how the cars have changed even since testing, and how they've evolved and how the drivers are kind of getting settled and getting used to driving them. And I think the evolution over the season is going to be a really interesting one. I'm not sure it's going to be massively clear cut. We'll have to see, you know, a little bit later on in the season. Obviously, I think, like I say, Leclerc and Verstappen are looking very, very strong. And they could run away with it if some of the other teams don't bring some upgrades that start to bring them into the window of performance. But I think it's great to see a mix up in everything, and it's definitely going to be a season to watch for sure.